My name is Julie Mountcastle, and I'm the grade 2 teacher and head of school at Slate School. In schools that embrace student-led learning and oppose standardized testing, the task of demonstrating growth can be challenging. Rubrics can only express success through the eyes of their creator and therefore often fall short. Fact-based assessments fail to recognize curiosity and creativity. So where does that leave us? At Slate School, we've discovered a method that we've been piloting for the last year. It's called the Learning Record. We found it first as a college-level assessment and then discovered that it had been used in different iterations for a wide variety of ages, first really successfully in the UK, primarily in their early childhood sector. The program was then discovered and further explored in California until the California public schools made the move toward more standardized testing. It's been adopted by the University of Texas, Austin, and adapted for university studies, and that's where we found it. Now, our current learning record looks different from any of the other earlier iterations, but we share one major aspect, and that is that we all seek to measure growth only against the previous performance of the child. So here's how it works. At the beginning of each year, we ask families to answer a whole group of questions in order that we might find out more about how the child has grown over time, how they've developed, and what specifically they might have been doing over the time when we're not in school together. Then we interview the child to see what interests have developed, and then create hopes and goals for the year. Now, both of these interviews are written and loaded into the child's digital folder. It might be important here to note that from the start of kindergarten, the children here at Slate School learn to reflect on their work and set goals and commitments each week, as do all of the adults. It's just part of what we're doing. Artifacts of learning are collected both by the learner and by facilitators to express achievement. Projects, then, of the child's choice are pursued. And at the conclusion of the first project cycle, and there are 4 to 5 project cycles each year, children are asked a series of about 5 questions. And these questions, they have nothing to do with the topic they've studied, or little to do with it, and they are thoroughly open-ended. They are meant to reveal growth in learning, not in knowledge. And these interviews, it's important to say, are recorded to capture all of the cues of the child. So, at the conclusion of the last project of the year, we ask the children the same questions again. And then a small group of educators from the school, including at least one of the child's current teachers, but also ideally teachers that they haven't had as much to do with, really, one up and one down, perhaps, in grade level. We feel like this provides the best context for the wide range of student growth, unique student growth, really. These observations become part of the learning record as well, along with written narratives of student progress created twice in the year, and these student and facilitator curated archives of representative work. We believe this gives us a more representative picture of the child in the moment, as well as, we hope, a trajectory that helps both learner and educator to set goals for the future. One area where we really hope to improve is what we see can be a potentially skewed collection of artifacts for the year. While we agree it's important to include items chosen both by the learner and by the facilitator, we feel like there may be additional items that demonstrate growth that maybe the learner doesn't need to focus on in order to continue to grow. So our plan this year is to note at least one sample from each child monthly for these purposes. And we think that this might actually have the added benefit of understanding kind of a loose trajectory of growth for children in a school like ours. One question we have for the panel is about the ideal collection of artifacts for demonstrating growth. Trying to help us have a picture of what that ideal collection would look like. And then just contemplating whether there's intrinsic benefit in having the actual artifact or if it's just as good to have a digital collection. We're also wondering about the evolution of these collections as children grow older and their tasks become more complex. What adjustments might we consider in advance of this growth, and how can we plan for that growth without predetermining a path? Now, we are always interested in sharing this practice and learning from others about similar or compatible processes for making learning transparent. So thank you so much for the opportunity.